Hi everyone, welcome to SOCIO Flicker. Here in this video, we're gonna discuss about this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, written by Stephen R. Covey. Can you see the name? Yep, there it is. By listening to this name, 7 Habits, you may think the 7 habits are like waking up early in the morning at 4 a.m., going for jogging, coming back and reading a book for 1 hour. It's not like that. It's not as easy as that. The 7 habits of this in this book are related to your character, building up your character. While discussing about these habits, we'll come to know what are these. In this video, I'm gonna discuss part 1, that is the introduction of this book. So, let's start. The main theme of this book is everything we want, the results we want, we get through natural process. The results which we get through natural process are permanent, and the results which we get by applying shortcuts are temporary. And what is this natural process or natural tendency? I'll tell you. Human nature is basically four-dimensional: body, mind, heart, and spirit. Spirit or soul. You may call it as soul also. The author called this four dimension as personal stagnation. For example, body. The natural principle of the body is to prevent diseases by aligning the body to the natural phenomena or the natural cycle by maintaining natural lifestyle. And the cultural tendency is what going is curing the diseases by giving medicines or treatments. And the natural tendency or the natural principle of the mind is to read continuously, broadly, deeply, and forever. Reading is the only natural principle for the mind or the brain. And the cultural tendency of the mind says to entertain me, to watch movies, or to listen to the music, right? And the natural principle of the heart is to serve everybody, to love and care everybody with full of your power. And the cultural tendency of the heart is use your relationships for your selfishness. And the natural principle for our spirit is to recognize the basic need for the positivity in our life. And the author says the God is present in these natural laws. And the cultural tendency of the spirit is to get scared of being positive and secular. The author wants to ask you a question which he raises in almost every meeting or in his teachings. Suppose you are on the deathbed, the last minutes of before you die, and you imagine where you would like to be at that moment. Would you like to spend your time in the office, or would you like to spend your time watching TV or listening to music? The answer could be no. Each and everybody wants to spend their last few minutes with their loved ones. They imagine if they are not nearby, their mind keep on scrolling about their loved ones, their children, their parents, or their wife or husband. Am I right? This is not any logic. This is psychologic. You will understand why the author asked you this question at the end of this book. Let me remind you, learning without applying is not actually a learning. Applying these 7 habits is not as easy as I said it before. It's like practicing a golf, practicing a cricket, practicing swimming. You do it regularly. For example, when you go for an exercise, when you want your body to shape up, you'll do it regularly. It's not one day process, or like if you do it once in a week, you'll not see the result. If you do it regularly, you'll find the results as soon as possible. The same way, while applying the 7 habits, not only this book, any book, it may be regarding habits, it may be regarding your personality development, it may be regarding your character ethic, whatever. If you want to develop it, you need to practice it regularly. That's the only option for you to get into it. Trust me. I want to tell you the story of Stephen, which is written in this book in the first part. One of his sons, son of this Stephen, was facing a lot of struggles in his life. He was not good academically, he was not good at the games, he was literally unfit for any social activity. Literally, while he is playing the game, some of his friends used to laugh at him. The way he used to catch the bat, the way he used to walk, the way he used to talk, whatever. Everything seems embarrassing. Stephen used to get a lot of complaints from his school and his friends. So one day, Stephen and his wife, Sandra, they sat together and started discussing about his son. They decided a technique should be applied on his son. They decided to encourage him in each and every moment so that he will get developed. So they started encouraging him little by little. They used to guide him in all his activities, like while playing, while reading, in academics, or in all other social activities. So when he hit the ball even very slowly, they used to say, "That's good, you're doing well, you can do it even more better tomorrow." They used to motivate him very positively. They used to say him that you can do, you can do, you can do. The only statement they want to repeat it again and again, that you can do it tomorrow better than today. So what happened? This lasts no longer. This encouragement doesn't seem going well. Because his son realized that his parents are encouraging him just because he is unfit. His parents are putting him ahead because he is down. He wants him to bring up somehow by encouraging and guiding little by little. When they say, keep on saying you can do it, he understood that I'm unfit. I can't do. That's why they are telling me I can do. So while this process was going on, while these techniques were applied on his son, Stephen got a project to teach the IBM executives on development program. So he got busy in preparing for that development program. He was so deeply immersed in the study of all the success literature of United States published from the year 1776. It's almost 250 years ago. He was reading hundreds of books, articles, whatever, written on the success literature almost back to 200 years. After scanning all the books deeply, he understood that what he was doing for his son is not correct. The books that are written a century ago, that means before World War I, are different, and the books which came after World War I are quite different. The books which came after the World War I are purely related to personality development. They focus on outside of your body. They focus on the outer language. They focus on how you look. They focus on how you talk from your mouth. And the books which are written before World War I focus on your character, how you're inside, what your heart says, what your mind says, and what you speak from your heart. Why these changes has came? Because we want the results very quickly, so that we apply immediate approaches. See, for example, while you're going for an interview in your college, you might have guided like this. You should dress like this, your tie should be like this, your inshirt should be like this, your face, your hairstyle should be like this, and you should use such words like, yes, I agree. These are what we are learning in personality development. These what we are learning outward, not inward. So these techniques will be useful only up to the interview, not for whole your life. So if you want your whole life should be in a particular positive manner, you should build your character, not your personality. This is what the author says very clearly and very particularly in all the lines, in all the pages. You should be a character ethic, not a personality ethic. I was telling a story, right, about his son. So after knowing all these things, Stephen came to his wife Sandra and discussed all these things with her. And they sat again together and they decided not to disturb him, not to encourage him, not to guide him in any manner. They want himself to understand what his position is in the society. They understood that if they encourage, it's going in a back way. At certain point, it may be useful for 2, 3, or 4 days. At the beginning, when you encourage a person in the beginning, they feel awesome. But you keep on encouraging the same point every time, they will understand. Definitely, they will come to know that you're encouraging for the sake of making him happy. not real, right? So they stopped encouraging him. So after few days or few months, when no one was encouraging him or no one was pushing him, he slowly developed himself. He realized himself that he can do. After facing a lot of struggles from the society, from his friends, he decided not to face it again. He worked hard. He practiced well. He became good at academics and he became good at sports too. And do you believe as years passed, he became the leader of several student bodies and he became the all state athlete. And this is why the author said there should not be any quick fix for your success in life. There should be a natural process. We should indulge in the natural process to get succeed in the life. Of course, there are situations where the people are basically characteristic, but they fail because of lacking communication skills. But trust me, that failure is not permanent. One day they'll see success in their life because learning outer things is easy than adopting a character. So we need to shift our paradigm from our personality ethic to the character ethic. The world we see through our eyes is not the world we see through our eyes. It's through our mind and the past experiences we had. There is a small test for you. Look at this image for a few seconds. So, have looked at it. And now look at this image for a few seconds again. And what do you think about the second image? I guess you're able to see a beautiful lady, probably at an age of 24 or 25, who's looking very lovely with a petite nose and very fashionable, right? And what if I say she is not 24 or 25? She is a poor old woman whose age is more than 80 or nearing to 90, and you probably meet her on the streets to help her to cross the road. You think I'm crazy, right? You think she's such beautiful girl, she's such beautiful lady, and she's such lovely. And how can you say that she is a world granny? Your question might be this. Now look at this picture for a few seconds. Can you see an old woman whose age is probably more than 80 years, who's fully covered up in the clothes, whose face is only appearing out? Now look at the previous picture again. Can you see the old woman whose age is more than 80 with her big hook nose and her shawl? If you can't, keep trying. So the point is, I have showed you an image of the lady at the first, and I showed you an image which can be interpreted as lady as well as woman in the second picture. So as you looked at the first picture as a lady, your mind, your past experience was fixed in the form of a lady whose age is less than 25. And hence, in the second picture, you look at the same woman which you looked in the first picture. And when you saw the third picture, you realized that the second picture could be also a woman whose age is more than 80. Am I right? Because your mind tells you based on your past experiences. We already built a lot of things in our mind. We need to change these things. We need to look at this thing in a different level, in a different way to shift our paradigm to whatever way we want. How to shift this paradigm, how to shift our thoughts. This will be explained in these 7 habits which are written in this book, which we will discuss in the later videos. Trust me, if you follow this book, definitely you will see the difference in your life. Let's keep on discussing more on this book. If you have anything to say, write it in the comment box and keep subscribed to my channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.